Well, hello, Internet. I'm back today to talk about some of my favorite things to talk about, horror movies, and horror movies on Shudder in particular. I am not sponsored by Shudder, but hey Shudder, I've said it in a video before, if you need me to shout you out and you want to throw some shit my way, I'm here for you. So yeah, over the past couple days I was just getting a new tattoo, my Phoebe Bridgers inspired tarot card tattoo, done by a really great tattoo artist, Kaylee, at Goth Girl Tattoos on Instagram. And we were talking together while she was tattooing me. We were talking about horror movies. And she asked me if I had Shudder, the great streaming service that I love. And I said, yes, absolutely I do. And she said, have you seen the film Anything for Jackson? And I said, no, but I need to get on that. And I watched it and I loved it. And we're about to talk about Anything for Jackson, directed by Justin G. Dyck, which is a really unfortunate last name. So Anything for Jackson is about a husband and wife couple in their mid-50s, early 60s that are Satanists, which is quite hilarious. And they've recently lost their daughter and their grandchild. And the father is a doctor who works in prenatal. And he finds this woman who gets pregnant and decides to kidnap her. And what they're going to do is practice a satanic ritual to make this child be possessed by the spirit of their dead grandchild. And this is made by a filmmaker who's mostly created Christmas films for Hallmark, which I found hysterical because this movie is wild and it's fun, it has great performances, and it's genuinely terrifying. So yeah, first thing I want to talk about is cinematography. For a person who's shooting these cookie cutter Christmas movies, this movie looks nice. There's some shots that really hold on these horrific elements in the film and make you as an audience member continue to stare at this shit that is just really horrifying. But it's also mixed with some really genuine comedic moments, and I thought that was really great. I think what's really well done about this movie, it's shot in a very snowy atmosphere, so it's very dreary and down, and obviously the subject matter is really depressing. And the cinematography contributes to that overall feeling that they're going for, and I really liked that about this movie. I liked the really wide shots that show things in the frame, make you as an audience member unsettled. The performances by Julian Richings and Sheila McCarthy are fantastic. They play the husband and wife, and what's really interesting about their dynamic and them as people, the way they portray these people is they're very nice and helpful and kind, and they're doing this because they were in a horrible situation that they lost two family members they love dearly and are going to any lengths possible to get back this family member, this grandchild. Shannon, the woman that they kidnap, is in this horrible situation and she's abducted and she's wanting to get out, and they're treating her pretty well with the exception of her being gagged. They're trying to take care of her, make sure she's taking her vitamins, all that. And they are constantly apologizing, and it's really interesting because you would think that these people would be portrayed as very evil and menacing and awful, and they're just seemingly average people who are trying to go to a length to make their family dynamic normal again. And I thought that that was really interesting and really well written, that they put those people in that situation. And what I like is there's a point in the movie where Shannon's character is having a conversation with a woman and they're talking together, and she says that she legitimately feels bad for her, and you're wondering if it's just her trying to get in with her to get out. But her performance makes it seem really believable that she cares, like, hey, I'm sorry you went through this really horrible circumstance. Clearly she does not want to be kidnapped. She doesn't want to be going through what she's going through, but at the same time, she's a new mother. She's going to have a child and have a new baby, and she understands already feeling that connection to that child and what it would be like to not only lose your child, but your child's child. And that's a really interesting dynamic of this film that I didn't think that it would have, and it did, and it was really great. The best part of this film is the practical effects and the makeup mixed with the horrific imagery. There's this guy who does these like contortionist movements that is just absolutely terrifying. There's this scene where there's this kid that knocks on the door in a ghost costume that keeps saying trick or treat, and he's popping through the house, but it's not a jump scare. It's just really eerie, and the placement of the character is done so well. There's all these spirits in the house because of these rituals that they're practicing to try to bring this baby back, this child. And it's really fascinating the way that those spirits are conveyed and how terrifying those situations are, because it feels just like an everyday normal slice of life, and these people feel like normal people that are doing something awful. And what's cool is how jarring those horrifying things are and how out of place they are, because normally horror films have the setup and payoff. They have these scare moments where you have a setup. You can kind of, if you're a fan of the horror genre, build together in your head, okay, this is when something's going to jump out at me. This is when something's going to get intense. But what I liked about this movie is it was so random when the stuff would happen that it caught me off guard. And I loved that about this movie. It's always great when you, as an audience member who think you know what you're getting into and how something's going to play out, can be shocked and surprised by something that happens on screen. And I'm glad that this movie was like that and that I enjoyed it so much, because I never would have guessed that this would have been as good as it was, but it was fantastic, and I'm looking forward to seeing it again. If I had any problems with the movie, the third act is a little rushed. The ending is fine. I liked the way it ended, but the whole third act sequence feels really sped along. There's elements in the screenplay that are introduced just to kind of build on the story and make the things happen the way that they're supposed to happen. And that's not completely to the detriment of the film, but it did take away from it just a hair for me. But I still think that it's 100% worth watching. So if you've seen anything for Jackson yet, did you love it? Did you hate it? Leave me a comment down below and let me know what you thought. I really enjoyed this film, and I hope that if you watch it on Shudder, you'll enjoy it as well. As always, if you could like the video and subscribe to the channel, helps me out a lot, lets me know the type of content that you're looking for. I've been putting out content virtually daily since the month of October. I'm planning on releasing multiple videos a week, every single week, and I look forward to getting that content out there for you. As always, Internet, thanks so much for watching, and have a great rest of your day.